So I'm making this video because you're probably overestimating how hard it is to make money online. Because I know I did for a long time, and it's something to where you actually don't need that much to make money online. But what you do need is you need first the determination, the realization that it is possible, and then you need to take a certain, really three steps actually, in order to make money. If you have these three steps, you are going to be making money. If you're missing even one of them, though, you're going to fail. Because I just had a client who, after working with me for about 2.5 weeks, closed a client on a $4,500 payment after just 2.5 weeks of posting with a completely new offer. And that might sound like a lot. I think this client is something different than you, but really the only thing that he had that you might not is he already had a social media presence. But honestly, it really isn't that important because his social media presence wasn't even around the thing that he was selling at all. It was about something completely different. And so I know that this can work for you. It's just a question of, are you willing to follow the steps? So in this video, I'm going to give to you the 3 steps that will enable you to make a ton of money online. It'll enable you to live a life of financial freedom. It'll enable you to live a life where you're helping other people with something that you are exceptionally good at, that's going to feel really good because you're actually using the knowledge and the skills and the abilities to change people's life. And yeah, you're going to be really happy doing it. So without further ado, the first step, and I think of this like a pyramid because each one of these steps is going to need the previous step behind it. And the first step is leads. And so at the base of the pyramid, you need people that can go and actually buy your offer, whatever it is. And so this is really going to be the part that a lot of people don't really start doing because they're just honestly scared. They don't realize how easy it is to get leads from people that want to pay you. Because there was a study done, and it said that people are substantially more likely to buy something from somebody when they already have a relationship with them. And so this is the step where you just build a relationship with people. And the way that you do that is by talking to the camera. And it might sound like, oh, but where do I start? Well, that's what I'm going to get into because a lot of people overcomplicate this process massively. And the biggest mistake is thinking that you already need to have something to sell before you start talking. That's the opposite way that you want to think about it. You want to go and start creating content as soon as you know that you want a life of financial freedom that the matrix is not offering you. Because as you do that, what's going to happen to you is you're going to find that people are actually going to appreciate the knowledge, the skills, everything that you have quite a significant amount. And it's not difficult. You just need to realize that one, you need to show up pretty much every day for people. You want to think of this smartphone or the computer that you're watching me on as like your best friend that can give you whatever it is that you want. Because ultimately, that's what this is. When you're able to reach a significant number of people, and you don't even really need that many people to make money, you actually just need to reach maybe a couple people that could actually want to buy what it is that you have to sell. But the easiest way to start is just by going and sharing what are the things that you've learned that could actually help people. You want to ask yourself every day, like, okay, I've gone through certain challenges in my life that I've overcome. Maybe you've learned something. Maybe it's really any skill, any practice that you've developed that's actually helped you. You would take that practice and give that to people every day. What happens as you do that is whatever it is that you talk about frequently, you become known as an expert in the field about it. There's no need for a degree. There's no need for certifications. There's just a need to realize like whatever it is that you're good at actually could help somebody else, and do that multiple times a day. Because as you show up for this black box every day, one, you're going to get better at doing it. Because one of the truths about making money online is it's all about the knowledge that you can actually help somebody. And there's a certain sense of certainty that will emerge in you as you, one, just show up and continue showing up and realizing that, you know what, it's not that hard to go and make videos that get views. One of my clients, after pretty much starting from scratch, is already closing $1,500 payments for his program after just a couple months. And so it's not difficult to do this. It just requires that you show up consistently, you show up as the expert that you already are in whatever skills that you've actually learned in your life, and you continue to do it. So that's the first step, is you gather leads by posting content frequently. And these are people that are already beginning to trust you Because if you just come out the gate and be like, hey guys, come buy my expensive program for thousands of dollars, they're going to be like, oh, why? They don't know you. They don't know what you can do for them. But if you show up every day around a certain topic, you're demonstrating your own competence. You're demonstrating that you can actually help people because you're already doing it, even if it's just 1.5 minutes at a time. So this is pretty much, you just think about it like show up for the people that you would like to be paid to help for free every day, preferably multiple times a day. Like, it's really not that hard to make videos where you're just talking. You know, if you think that you could show up for a friend if they call you, you could definitely show up on video for somebody. It's just shifting your perspective to make it easy. But I have some other videos on that. Go check them out on my channel if you want. But the next step, once you have leads, once you have people that already follow you and trust you, then you're going to need to make an offer. And this is the step that can be kind of intimidating for a lot of people, especially if you're still used to trading your time for money. Because rather than trading your time for money, you want to think about you're trading transformation for money. Like, for an example, right? If somebody showed you a way to make $10,000 a month or $10,000 more a month every month without fail, and it 100% worked, you know, throw your skepticism out the window, then you would probably be willing to pay, you know, like maybe $10,000, maybe $5,000, maybe $2,000, right? You'd be willing to pay a pretty good amount if you knew 100% that paying someone would make you $10,000 a month. Now, if it only took that person 1 hour of their time to set that up for you, would you care? Would you feel ripped off if it actually worked? No, you'd probably be stoked that you got a great deal and you're making 10 grand. And so you need to shift your perspective away from being just someone that is of the worker mentality. Oh, you know, like my time could only be worth 50, 100, 300, $1,000 an hour at the max. You're like getting paid for the results that you get people, regardless of how long it takes you. Because that's what's going to really change your ability to create wealth in your life, is when you can actually shift from selling your time for money into selling transformation for money. And so when you're beginning to make an offer, you want to think, what have you done in your life? What transformation have you achieved? Maybe it's becoming really fit. Maybe it's becoming a successful content creator yourself. Maybe it's something as simple as like learning a breathwork technique or releasing anxiety, which is actually the $4,500 offer that my client sold just 2 weeks after working with me. And if you do want results like these, by the way, click the link in the description, go and book a free call, and we'll see if you're a good fit to work with me closely so you can be making money online. But you want to think like, what is something that I can help people with that has a fairly large degree of pain associated with it? Like, what are people going to want to get out of? What is a transformation that if somebody doesn't make, there's a significant cost to it? You know, so you're going to have a hard time probably selling like lessons on, you know, swimming, because it's just like, one, it's pretty, there's already a lot of other people, but it doesn't have that high of like a pain where it's like if somebody doesn't know how to swim, it's probably not that difficult for them. So you want to lean towards more like, that's why there's so many fitness offers. That's why there's so many dating offers. That's why there's so many business offers. It's because people, when they don't have a business, they don't have health, they don't have wealth, they don't have a relationship, that causes a lot of suffering in people's life, and they're willing to pay money to get rid of that suffering. And so you want to be thinking like, what offer can you give people that will enable them to make a transformation that is seriously beneficial for them, and something that is going to enable them to really enjoy their life a lot more and get rid of the pain of not having that thing in their life, whether it's health, wealth, or relationships. And this is typically what most people will make their offers on. But let's say that, you know, you're like a spiritual expert or a healer, right? You don't actually need to totally learn a new skill. You can just go and take the skill that you do have and realize, like, where am I most effective in helping people become healthy? You know, people don't necessarily go into things knowing that they want to buy like Reiki sessions or tarot readings or astrology readings, right? They do know that they want to solve the problems. So all you have to do here is position your vehicle as the thing that will enable them to solve their problem. So it's really quite simple with an offer. And typically for high ticket coaching offers where you're getting paid thousands of dollars to help people with this transformation, for working with them one-on-one or in a group setting, you know, it's a high intimacy container, meaning that people naturally are going to want to come to you, they're going to want to talk to you, they're going to want your help. And so these offers typically go between $2,000 and $5,000, although some of them are less expensive, some of them are more expensive, really the sky is the limit, but it depends. If you go above $5,000 or $10,000 really, then you probably want to be talking to some people that already have some sort of business or wealth in place, or be serving like the top level clientele, like CEOs or people that are really wealthy. They will pay $15,000, $20,000 if they have a high degree of certainty that it works. And when you're making an offer, the most important thing is actually certainty. Like, you need to be absolutely certain that you can get somebody the result. Like, I know, for example, that if somebody works with me, I can 100% get them to be confident on camera, to be making videos that pop off, to be going and actually making money as long as they're willing to follow the steps. And this is also why, there is an application process involved in both my coaching program and a lot of coaching programs. Because the truth is you probably can't help everybody. Like, if somebody had no skills, then it'd be hard for me to help them make money, honestly. So that's why we make sure to go and actually only agree to work with people that we know that we can help. So when you're making an offer, the most important thing is just the pure knowledge and belief that you can actually help people change their life. And so that's why it's best if it's something that you've done, or, like that that you can do as well, even if it's not for other people, even if it's not paid. It's fine to go and help out some people. If you have an offer that you want to do, just help some people with it for free or at a significantly reduced rate. Get some case studies, get some testimonials, and then you'll be doing pretty well, because people will have much more certainty that it works. Because the more certain that you are, and will translate to how certain they are that it's going to work, and the more certain they are translates to the degree that they're willing to pay you, because this is the last step. The third one is sales. And so sales is the art of actually, once you have an offer, right, is getting people to actually exchange their money with you in exchange for your offer. Super simple. And the way that you have a sale is typically in high ticket coaching offers, it's in the form of a specific type of conversation that you have with people. And there's a lot of different scripts, like we help people in the program really craft a sales script that works. But if you're just starting out, it's really about getting people clear on where it is that they want to be after they've solved this problem. Getting people clear on what pains or difficulties are they experiencing because they have not solved this problem. And then finally, just, do you think that your method is going to work for them? And like, if people know, like, okay, man, because I'm not solving this problem, my life sucks. I feel worse about myself. I'm unhappy. I'm not making less money. I'm not able to do the things I want to do. And I know that the life that with me solving this problem, I'm happy. I'm wealthy. I'm in love. I'm feeling great about life. I'm doing the things I've always dreamed of. I'm inspiring others. And that they know that it'll work for them, then they're going to buy. It really is that simple. That's why it's like a pyramid of business, because it doesn't make sense to go and have an offer if you don't have anybody to sell it to. You can't sell it if you don't even have an offer. That's why it's super important that, like, if you ever want something like this to work for you, and granted, there are ways of doing cold outreach. You can't just outreach to all these people hoping like, oh, maybe one of them is going to be interested in my offer. But honestly, I used to do that and it sucks. Really does not feel that good, in my opinion, to be outreaching to people. And also, it's like, it doesn't build trust with people either. Where it's like, because when you're posting content, the people already know you're an expert. They already trust you because they've been watching you. So it's much less of a difficulty to convince them that you are an expert and can solve their problem. You've already been talking like an expert and helping them solve them problems a little bit. I've had so many people come up and tell me, oh man, you inspire me to post content. So they know that I'm an expert in content. Also, because I've grown like 20,000 followers on Instagram. I started posting earlier this year. One of my clients grew 30,000 followers in 3 months. So, as you get experience with this, as you get more people, you're going to sell more as well. But that's why it all starts with posting content. Then you make an offer, and if you don't even know what you're going to start with your offer, it's like you can just look at what content is performing well. Look at the market, have the market tell you what does it want from you based on which of your videos are getting views. And then finally, you improve your sales skills by just talking to people. And again, this is personally, for myself, I paid about $8,000 just to learn sales. And guess what? It worked. Because in 2 months, I made 10 grand. In about 4 or 5 months since then, made almost 30. So yeah, it works. Very worthwhile. But it was the biggest purchase I've made in my life, that's for sure. And so, if you're watching this and you're asking yourself, could this work for you? Just go hop on a call. It's literally free. I guarantee you'll gain some valuable knowledge as to if this can actually help you and what's maybe holding you back from succeeding in this. If it doesn't work for you, we'll just go and do our best to point you in the right direction. If it does work for you, then I'll make you an offer to work with you. So yeah, if this is helpful, go leave me a comment. And if you want to see if this could actually work for you and you want some help doing it, because I know that personally, I felt super stuck, even though I had heard these things. And I was like, you know what? I just want someone to show me exactly how this would work for me. Then go work with somebody. Best decision I've made in my life. One of them. So anyway, leave a comment if this has been helpful and follow for more. Aloha.